Woohoo! Yeah. What was that like? Beautiful park, huh?
That was pretty cool. We'll give everybody a minute to like finish watching the
Sure, you're gonna
stream.
have to get rid of this old lady stuff. Looks like you're in an old lady trailer park.
Well, it's there because the cat likes to lay up there, and I was doing.
What do you guys think?
I was doing it to
You
protect.
look like your grandma's shawl back there. Trailer park.
It was to protect.
Yeah, you're right. It's just not a good look. Anyway, after
Hope y'all enjoy that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was a really great trip.
What a beautiful
It looks
park.
like we got 3 people already popping back in here. Let me see if I can open it up on my phone.
That park is so amazing. Oh, yes. And I got more video to edit to create more content. Yeah, I saw some of the chat going on. I couldn't see all of it, but
all right.
Yeah, we went around on our scooter. I did looking at all the campsites and which one would be the best campsite. And that's what we do every time we go camping. We pretty much ride around to see which would be the best campsite and how can we book it.
Yeah.
And then we go, since we have internet signal, usually we can do it from our camper. So that's what I did. I booked Mayaca River State Park already for next year.
But we tried to book the best site.
Yeah, we couldn't get the best site, but we got one that's pretty close. If you guys remember in the beginning of the video, I shared, I think it was the Palmetto Ridge area has full hookups and pull-through sites. Now, the pull-through sites, are, in my opinion, are not the best sites.
Yeah.
They are convenient to pull in and out of, but they don't have a lot of shade. So
I'll be back.
In my opinion, maybe can you hand me the map of the park over there? It's up on the left. Yeah, and the sites that I thought were the best were the ones that were that full hookups, but still semi-secluded somewhat on having, 3 sides covered by woods and things. So that was in the, let's see here, the Palmetto Ridge campground area that had the more secluded sites. The more secluded sites were around the perimeter. If you ever get a chance to look at the map, if you go back to the video and pull up this map, this is the one with the full hookups, with the pink one, the pink ones having the pull-through sites, and the ones on the peripheral are the ones that seem to have a little more shade. I would probably stay away from the entrance and the exit. As here's the entrance. I would probably stay away here because there's dumpsters right here. If you don't, you could have some more, raccoon activity there. Maybe some odors. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that's the case, but I tend to try to stay away from dumpsters. But if you move around here, I think we got a site somewhere around the peripheral where there's a little more shade. That was my preference. Now, these sites were didn't have the full hookups, so if you have a desire to have full hookups, you're not going to get that out here. But if you want better scenery, definitely better scenery out here. But we're glampers, so I prefer having conveniences. So that's what we did. I thought these were better sites in my opinion, but they're all in great.
They're all good.
The 2 sites here, the 2 campgrounds, the Old Prairie campground and the Palmetto are at the entrance of the park, and the ones that we stayed at this time, the Big Flats, was more toward the middle of the map, as I shown on the video. So you can see here, this is where 2 campgrounds are, and then you mosey on up to Big Flats. Big Flats is close to the store. That's a convenient location, but it is smaller, a little bit smaller sites. If you got a big rig, harder to get into. I definitely was, that spot I got in was not for the faint of heart to back in. I don't think a person with inexperience could have got it in there, because we got a 31-foot rig and I got a 25-foot truck. It was not easy to get in.
It was definitely not an easy place to go. everybody that is here, that this is the first time that you've been here, or let's say the last live that we did a little bit ago was the first time, put a 1 in here so that the moderators can go ahead and drop your links, because I don't want to forget that, because I appreciate everybody popping back on here.
Yeah, and RV Dog said something about swimming.
I would not swim.
It's funny. I would, yeah. I was making a joke, like I could swim at dark because the alligators can't see me, right?
Yeah. So as we're watching the comments, he's like, "Yeah, you can swim at night; they won't see you."
I actually had a tourist ask me when we were there. There's a boat ramp right there.
Yeah.
And they were asking me if they could.
Where could they?
Actually, this was at Tomoka, I think it was. They were asking if they could swim in the water, and I went, I wouldn't swim in that water because an alligator would chomp on you. Probably, there's a good likelihood to get an alligator chomp. So I wouldn't want to swim in any water like that. No.
Yeah, I mean, you see it. I mean, and it was crazy when we went out there at night. And we took the spotlight and we shined the light all along the water.
Yes.
And it's like little glowing eyes.
Get a powerful LED light, a very powerful LED light. It doesn't have to be big. It just needs to be an LED that you can focus that. And dude, you can see some serious alligator eyes on that water. Yeah. It's really kind of.
We drove, to a couple different little spots along there. And
that's another thing in the brochure for this park. There were miles and miles and miles of walking trails and biking trails at this park. So there's no shortage of places to go and things to explore if you're that type of person.
Yeah, we actually never got the kayak out there.
No, we never did take the kayak.
We never did take the kayak out.
Yes.
We would have. I think we just didn't have the time to do it.
We really didn't have time.
We didn't have time to do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Rainbow River. At least you can see the alligators in Rainbow River.
Yeah, Myakka is the murky, not clear water.
Yeah.
But and like you saw, like when we went on a walk, they were along the shore, so you had to be kind of careful.
Also, another thing to be mindful of.
I wouldn't walk my little doggies either. That's something else to be thinking about, because we actually have had people ask us about camping with dogs, and like that spot that we had where it was right up to the swamp.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't feel comfortable if I had a little dog there, unless you had the dog on a leash and you were mindful of it, because that's gator
also be mindful if you're going to do any hiking, bring some hiking boots. Shoes will work, but
flip-flops do not.
If you have a heavy rain there, it's very swampy. So the first time I ever went to Myakka, it was very wet.
Hey, Johnny.
It was very wet. So I would not want to be walking in shoes if it was, had been raining the week before you go there. Be aware that you want to have hiking boots that are water resistant or waterproof. Yeah, Funny. RV Dog, yes, your dog are chicken nuggets to alligators for certain. Yeah, they wouldn't have to chomp very many times to swallow your little doggy.
Yeah, actually, we were in the Keys and we were talking to somebody, and we were talking about some of the places that we camped at recently, and they said the same thing. They were asking if it would be suitable because they had small dogs, and they actually would set up the little doggy gate around their camp. And I was like, any body of water in Florida is like a risk for an alligator. So whatever your comfort level is.
All right, RV Dog, you're as funny as I want to be. Flip-flops or Florida hiking boots. Yes.
See, and I don't have hiking.
Depends on who you are, whether you don't mind getting your feet wet.
Or you have to also think about it. There's thorns,
water moccasins, cottonmouths. You don't never know.
When we were in the Keys, I got stung by something on my foot. If I would have had tennis shoes on, that wouldn't have happened. I had flip-flops on.
Yeah, and ticks. Ticks. You don't want to get ticks, because that's another thing I wanted to mention. If any of y'all out there are praying folks, we'd like to ask for prayer for Sherry. She's struggling. She has Lyme disease. She has gotten a tick bite and has Lyme disease. So she currently is battling this disease, and it's not easy for us. She's definitely having a lot of problems. Yeah. So if you're a praying person, please, we would appreciate your prayers for Sherry. So she's going to see lots of doctors, and what's the disease specialist kind of guy? What's that?
Infectious disease doctor.
Right. So she's not totally wiped out, but she's definitely having really some bad days. And so we appreciate some prayers
Yeah.
for her. And it's a struggle. So, and thank you for that. So we're trying to be positive all the time.
Thank you, baby, for now. You brought the tears.
We're trying to be positive all the time, even though
Absolutely.
it's a real thing to deal with.
Yeah.
So we're trying to continue our lives as best as we
Yeah.
can. And we're not trying to ignore it. We're just trying to not let it get the best of us.
And I guess, it's probably due for an update because I haven't really said much lately. So yeah, went this past week, saw my doctor, had a brain MRI. Thank God that was fine because that was a concern.
Is she getting headaches?
Yeah, so the brain MRI came back negative, which was awesome. Saw a neurologist who offered some advice for the headaches. Really didn't offer me much for the walking. I'm having some problems walking and like getting around and stuff.
Her legs are trembling and
Yeah.
some spasms.
Yeah. So, the only advice he could offer me was a wheelchair or a walker.
Yeah, that didn't help.
So that really doesn't help. I see the infectious disease doctor on Tuesday. It looks like right now they're leaning towards maybe putting a port in and doing IV antibiotic therapy for like a month, every day for a month, and seeing if that helps. And then they're going to also test for some other kind of diseases or infections that ticks carry along with Lyme disease, because usually if you're going to get Lyme, you're going to probably end up with some other kind of co-infections. So I did 30 days of the oral antibiotics, and that really didn't do a whole lot. It made me not feel great, but it didn't do much. So absolutely would appreciate the prayers this week. Hopefully we'll get some more answers. It's made a lot of things difficult.
Mm-hmm. So we're pressing on, praying that the Lord will heal her.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's in good spirits, but it can definitely drag you down. So you guys are very inspirational. Thank you for all your positive energy and thoughts and prayers. We really appreciate it. And showing up to chat makes our day.
Yep.
So thank you for doing that.
So if I don't always talk about it, it's not there. It's just,
yeah, we don't want to drag us down. We don't want it to drag us down.
Yeah, we don't want to be those people.
It's like our jobs. We don't live to work. We work to live. So we got to do our jobs. Got to pay for our bills and got to pay for living and food and stuff like that. Thank God we've been, trying to follow somewhat of Dave Ramsey's advice to pay off debts. We're working on it, and we're not trying to, incur any more debt, and we're not spending more money.
And my work's been pretty flexible, because if anybody reads anything about Lyme disease, it's when you don't feel good, you don't feel good, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. And I've been able to kind of work from home and then go in and work. So this past week I actually went in 3 days and worked.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
So we have another trip planned. Sherry booked us another trip in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So we're planning on heading out again, and I'm thinking that we need to check some other parks that got canceled. We got a couple parks around here. One's called Long Point. It's a county park right on the border of Indian River County, where the Sebastian Inlet is. That's a nice county park. That's really nice, where most of the sites are on the water. And it's where you saw the video in our introductory video where the manatee is swimming by the kayak. That's at Long Point County Park.
I'm putting it in the chat because I know a lot of you guys are in Florida, or some of you guys are in Florida. So it might be a good one for you to check out, even if you're not in Florida. But I mean, it's a county park. Yeah.
Another one that we were looking at we haven't been to, though, was Trimble. We already booked Trimble right in the middle of the COVID thing. So our reservation got canceled because they closed the park. So we really want to do Trimble, and it's right next to Mount Dora. Another one that we like to go to that we've been to many times is Kelly Park, where Rock Springs is, a very wonderful spring, a great spring for kids because it's a shallow spring. So you can get out and walk a lot It's a very shallow spring, so it's comfortable, to do. Lyme disease is one of those things that some people can get healed from, and
Yep.
some people never get healed from. So if you've ever heard of the YouTube channel Changing Lanes, Tara, right? Is that her
Yep.
name? Tara?
Tara.
Tara fights Lyme disease regularly. She has
She's
not
been
been
dealing with it
cured.
for 7 or 8 years.
She has not been cured from it. So,
And she's actually been very good. She's at, they just hit their 100,000 subscriber, and as soon as I got diagnosed, I reached out to her, and they're big channel. They don't have to reach out and talk to people if they don't want to, but she was very gracious and very wonderful, and has kept in contact and has given me resources. And actually, they're from Florida, so she kind of gave me the name of a doctor that I might be able to get connected with. I did do some research on that doctor. There's like 2 different courses of treatment for Lyme disease. You either go the very pharmaceutical route, or you go the more holistic route. And she did the pharmaceutical route in the beginning, and now she's doing the holistic path, and that's who that doctor is. So I don't know which is going to be the right path to go. I think maybe a blend of both.
RV Dog says Kelly Park is great, but no dogs. Also, Kelly Park does not allow alcoholic beverages in the park, period. So don't get caught. But yes, they don't. I didn't know about the dogs because we don't have a dog. So I did not know that about the dog. So thank you for sharing that, RV Dog.
Yeah.
But also be aware, no alcoholic beverages in the park. But it is a great, quiet park.
Yeah. No worries, Linda.
And it's right next to Rock Springs.
Can somebody drop Marco Phil Germany's link in here for me, please? They're new here.
Haven't seen any bears at Kelly Park. I've been there a couple times. Have not seen
one thing
bears.
we haven't really seen a whole lot.
I've never seen a bear in Florida. I lived here my whole life. Never seen a bear.
No, when I lived in North Carolina, they were all over the place. Like I had one that would just ran in front of me.
Do you see what Jungle Life says? You can
get over it.
Mm.
I believe
We
God
pray.
can. I believe God can heal me.
We prayed in positive thoughts. I believe in positive thoughts. Definitely is more healthier than negative thoughts. So, but yes, we're hoping to book Trimble Park. If you guys want to look up Trimble Park, if you're in Florida, it looks like a very, very, very small park. I think they have 14 sites, and probably 5 or 8 are on the water. I have forgotten. I haven't looked at their map in a long time. But I've never been there, and I want to go there very bad. Me and my sister really want to go there really bad because it's right on Mount Dora River or something.
And we had booked that, and that was canceled, wasn't it? That was one of the ones.
That the one got canceled.
One of the ones that had canceled.
You can see them. What name are you looking for? I'm sorry, I can't see them here.
I can say the name again. The name is Marco Phil Germany.
Thank you, Jungle of Beauty and Spine. Thank you for.
Let me see if I can tag them. It's how it is tagging on the phone. Like it doesn't.
All the bears are in Chicago. Okay, Cubs too, right? Oh, just a little fun fact. If any of you are Chicago Bears fans of the old days, I'm talking about the 85 Bears. Most of you probably could care less, but I care about it because my high school alma mater had a football player that played for those Bears in a starting role. His name was Wilbur Marshall. He went to my high school, Astronaut High School here in Titusville, Mims area. He was a senior when I was a freshman, the class of 80, I believe. I was class of 83. So my sister, who is older than me, went to school with Wilbur. So we have a kind of a kindred link to the 85 Chicago Bears. Wilbur Marshall played for the Bears. He also went on to play for the Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins. And he also played, I think, in another Super Bowl. I don't recall. But anyway, I I went to school with Wilbur's brother, Wendell, at Astronaut High School. So that's just a fun fact for the Bears. So any of you Bears fans would know Wilbur Marshall, one of the greatest linebackers, outside linebackers from Chicago Bear history. Hopefully he gets to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you for finding that, Homestead Aquarius. Yeah, I lived Outer Banks, Kill Devil Hills, Nags Head, Collington Harbor. Leave your steaks out and the Bears will come.
Why would
out.
I leave a steak out?
That's too good.
Well,
We're
yeah.
going to waste that. What are we having for dinner tonight?
I was
by the
waiting
way?
for the steak comment. To come up. I was literally thinking, okay, somebody's going to
They're going to
comment.
think all we eat is steak.
Yeah, all we eat is steak and lobsters, right?
That's all we eat is steak. That's
You know why we didn't have a lot of lobsters in our previous videos? Because we ate them all from last year.
Yeah.
There was no lobsters left in the beginning of this year. So anyway, and I'm supposed to bring.
We eat more than steak. It seems like every time.
We definitely eat one steak a week for sure.
Every time we video, we're eating steak.
Hey, when we're not paying for
but
kids,
you know what? My cholesterol is really, really good. That's the one thing I have going for me.
We're not paying for kids' toys and clothes anymore for school. So
no, when we get a steak, we like that. We usually have like one steak and we split it.
yes, matter of fact, I got a porterhouse in the refrigerator waiting for us to cook it tonight. So as soon as we get done here, I'm grilling that.
I'm hungry.
Steak. We haven't had steak in a week.
And we do a lot of chicken. We did pork for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the two of us.
Yeah. We don't eat a lot, so we can eat a little bit pricier foods when you don't eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
I
love the okra coke too. I would love to take him to Outer Banks. It's definitely was like
okra Coke. Separate that.
No, it's not. That's not how you
okra Coke.
You actually have
is that a cola flavor okra Coke?
That would be a really nasty tasting cola.
I don't like okra.
You actually have to get there by a my brain just went blank. A ferry.
A ferry, yeah.
Yeah, you have to take a ferry to get there.
Yeah. I would not want to live on that unless I had no job. Because the ferry the ferry stops, I'm late for work, right?
Yeah, people have to plan around that ferry, and the ferry almost never stops. It's usually one of the first things after a hurricane that starts running.
Yeah. So
I love it.
As soon as I get done with this video or get done with this chat,
back to work.
I got to go back to work or do the grilling first. And I can start cutting video.
He has to feed me first.
Yeah, I got to start cutting the video for part 2 of my Yucca River State Park. And then we have the next video will be Silver Springs, or the next park. I don't know what the next video will be, but the next park we will be editing will be Silver Springs. Yes, and I think
we'll eventually get to the Keys.
Well, eventually, I think the Keys will be after that. But we have so much content. I said
we're trying to keep them in the order of when we went on the trips.
Yeah,
with an occasional one like the cooking one where we might throw something in.
Yeah, I'm gonna have so many separate videos.
Well, you may have a storm
in the Keys. Not to mention how many sections I will have to do, how many videos I will have to do just of the Keys, because we stayed there 2 weeks. So imagine if we take a weekend and we split that into 2 days as far as the video goes. In the 2 weeks in the Keys, how many videos are going to get from that? Plus, I'm going to do other side videos like how to catch.
Thank you, Johnny, for the reminder.
How to catch,
clean, and cook
a lobster, Florida lobster.
Yeah.
Then we will have a tour of Bahia Honda State Park as it's of the whole campground, how it sits when we were there. Now, I say that because the hurricanes took out the Sandspur campground area in Bahia Honda State Park. So
and they're still renovating the whole that whole park is still under renovation.
They're saying it's going to open soon, but it was not open when we were there, so I can't show you that. But it looks beautiful. We rode by on a boat and we could see the new campsites being built, and they look like they're going to be better than they were before. So it looks like it's going to be good. But anyway, that's going to be a side video. The whole deep, detailed video of Bahia Honda State Park. All the campsites will be shown on video. It won't be detailed because I can't go on people's sites when they're occupied. So I can't like go in the campsite and say, look, this is the dimensions. I could
Yeah.
just drive by and take a video of the campsite, but we took a video of every campsite in Bahia Honda and the beach areas and the rocks and all that
Hey,
stuff.
Justin and Christina.
The RV DJ showed
So-
up.
All of you guys, make sure you're connecting with each other, because I can tell you everybody here is like, they're all good. They've all got awesome information, awesome channels.
Right.
RV DJ made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing a brand new thing, a chat before the
And a little
premiere and a chat
after.
after the premiere.
Yeah, the chat after the premiere, I don't know if we'll necessarily go more than like a 30-minute.
Yeah.
Just kind of wrapping it up and talking about what you guys saw, and if you've got any kind of questions.
Wow. Well, thankfully, I was able to not spend a lot of time outside today, just taking my grandson back home, 1 hour one way and 1 hour back, 50 miles one way, 50 miles back. So I had a great weekend with my grandson. It was wonderful, except we learned something. Don't let him sleep with you. He is the wigglest wiggle
Circles
worm,
under the eyes.
wigglest wiggler worm ever.
Where did he sleep most of the
Oh
night?
my goodness. Under your arm or something.
Like right here.
Yeah, he's like.
It was like the only place I could like kind of.
He does
put
like
him.
this in the bed. No lie. He is 316. His feet are at my head and
I came back.
kicking
We
sideways.
got him to sleep. He lay down with us. He went to sleep, and then you got up, and then I got up,
Yeah.
and then when I went back in there, he was upside down.
So yeah, we
So
didn't
then
have
I
a good night's
moved-
sleep last night.
Moved him back around.
I feel bad for Sherry.
That was like if I could put him like right here, it kind of kept him. He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't toss and turn as much,
So-
and he woke up a couple times and kind of did a little, kind of like talking,
So yeah, he's a talker, a sleepwalker and sleep
sleep
talker.
talker. So
Yeah. So he'll get up and walk.
well, the night before we had put him in the recliner, and and then he woke up during the night and was kind of a little
Scared.
Scared. So I think that was the idea of putting him in bed with us.
But we had it. Yeah. Well, we learned a lesson not to do that again. So we can sleep better. So we got to do the campfire with him.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah. A drunk octopus. That's a good analogy.
I co-slept with my youngest, and but he was a good little sleeper, so I never had a problem.
I will never sleep with a dog unless I am homeless. Then I would sleep with a dog.
keep you warm.
I don't sleep with animals. That's just me.
No.
I don't hate
And
animals. I just don't want to sleep with them.
And like Oscar,
Yeah.
even before I met Robert, and I'd left my door open, and Oscar would never really sleep in my bed with me. He would go and he'd sleep on my little nightstand. So he would sleep next to me, but on my nightstand. But he never really would sleep in the bed with me. He like wants
No,
his own,
but-
he wants his own space. Now, he knows when I'm not feeling good. So when I'm not feeling good and I'm laying down in bed, he will definitely be like right there with me.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. I just don't want him
We
in
don't
my
want him in our
bed. But because he'll step on you and start going, meow, pet me.
You sleep with a baby and a dog. You have
Congratulations.
You have a little baby.
Congratulations.
You have a little baby. Yeah.
I have a saying. I love dogs as long as it's not mine.
We're actually kind of dog sitting right now.
Yeah, I
We
just
probably
walked
have
the
to-
dog for just a few minutes. Had to take the dog out and walk it because our
Dogs are part of the family.
the
If they are part of a family.
they are just not
I
a part of
agree.
mine.
I agree. And dogs and kids were like bony elbow
Knee
Knee
feast
fest.
fest.
Yep.
Yeah, I won't do it again. I have forgotten. It's been a long time since I went to bed
Your
with him in
dogs
our
are
bed.
hairless. What kind of dog?
Weird.
What kind of dog is it?
That's strange. Yeah, I've seen those hairless cats, and I have seen the hairless dog. Matter of fact, I've seen a hairless dog in Peru.
Oh, I've seen those.
The Peruvian dogs.
Mhm.
I've been to Peru a couple
So
times.
Oscar is long haired, but we keep him cut short
And that makes it great.
because then he doesn't shed. Not only does he not shed, but he doesn't groom himself as much. So which means he doesn't have hairballs.
Yeah. He doesn't
So
have dingleberries.
He
or
doesn't have
He
dingleberries.
doesn't have.
And he doesn't mind me trimming him for the most part. He usually is pretty well
He
behaved.
doesn't have a messy face from eating food and water and stuff.
Yep, I keep him trimmed up. And
Yeah,
I think he enjoys it because then when I rub him and pet him, he actually feels it more.
Yeah, he looks a lot better with the hair trimmed.
Yeah, I don't shave him bald, but
So
American Hairless Terriers. I will have to look that up.
I'm glad you have them, and I don't.
We love playing with dogs.
We don't want to get into the dog thing. I have unfriended a cousin because of it. And matter of fact, a memory just came up. It says, "Oh, I'm to all my friends on Facebook. I'm sorry for every one of my posts having a dog on it." And then on the bottom it says, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
And I unfriended her.
But there was more to that than that. There's more to it than that.
That was primarily is like everything she talked about was about dogs, and I'm like, I'm not really interested in that. I'm rather interested in you, not your dog.
Yeah. Who you
So
are.
everything was about dog. I mean, matter of fact, she was camping with us. We would go camping together, and she came to our site. To us, we're having a thing, and she was complaining that somebody was complaining about her dogs barking at the RV.
Yeah.
The dogs were barking constantly, and she said, "Hi, dare these people."
We don't have I don't have a problem with people and dogs in their campers.
No.
But
yeah, if you leave your dog and it barks,
I feel sad for the dogs.
It's bad.
I feel sad for the dogs.
The dogs are your companions, so why are you leaving them behind?
Then you should take them with you when you go out explore
That's
things.
the way I feel.
And I get it that some places you can't take them because it's not allowed, but then don't have them barking.
Yeah,
I feel bad for them.
They have separation anxiety.
Yep, they want to be with their people.
Yeah, they want to be with their people. My dog that I had 3 dogs at once, and
both of us have always had dogs.
I had dogs, but my dogs knew I was the alpha male, and I didn't have to dominate my dog in a negative manner. I just was the leader. So I'm like, no, you're not going to do that, and no, you're not going to sit right here because you're not going to do that, So
yeah,
I was the leader of my dog pack.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with dog, and you also have to think about it's like your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So our lifestyle is that we like to go to places like Disney, and if we're going to boondock someplace, we're not solar capable.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be fair. It would be cruel to leave a dog in an RV in a park that
Yeah.
Another
thing,
or if we want to go for a weekend.
I don't know if you guys ever saw that kids movie called I just forgot it.
And that's how it should be.
Something about dogs. Anyway,
I agree.
It was a dog movie about kids, and Good Boy. I think that was it. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't want to pick up my dog's poop, so I grew up in a day and age where you don't pick up dog's poop. What? But nowadays you got to pick up your dog's poop, so I'm not doing that.
And we don't want to have because we've gotten aggravated because our campsites had
people.
We had our last
campsite.
Campsite right around the corner
because of the location of our campsite. It was a great place for dogs to poop.
Dogs to poop, and then nobody picked up the dog poop.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I love dogs. I'm just glad I don't own any because I'm ready for other things now.
Yeah.
I've had dogs all my life. When I was a kid, we had dogs. When we had cats, and we had ducks, and we had snakes, and we had pigeons.
We always had animals.
We had all kind of animals, and now I'm in a stage in my life to where I'm literally an empty nester. So I'm enjoying it, not having to feed the dog, walk the dog, bathe the dog, pay for the vet bill for the dog. My vet bill is enough for me. My bill.
Your vet bill?
You're right. My vet bill is enough for me.
Yeah. You got enough medical bills.
So we love dogs. Everybody else's dog.
We'll go and love on them.
I think
it's like grandkids.
I'm going to change the subject somewhat, but I think the most, in my experience, the most almost perfect pet is a ferret. If it didn't have a pungent smell, a ferret, because guess what? It sleeps 23 hours a day.
Well, so does Oscar.
A ferret sleeps 23 hours a day, and it sleeps in a hammock. I mean, how cool is that? If you sleep in a hammock, that's cool. So we try to get Oscar to sleep in his hammock. He don't sleep in his
He
hammock.
won't sleep in it.
No, and they yawn. You ever grab a ferret by its what do you call that?
Scruff.
The scruff of the neck. As soon as you pick them up, they start yawning like they're falling asleep. It's the coolest thing, and you can groom and clip their nails and everything. And they're the goofiest things. They fight imaginary opponents, kind of like I would when I was like 10 years old, pretending to fight. They goof around and roll around. They're clumsy. And
Hey,
anyway,
did anybody catch the little thing in here where he was talking about our grill?
yeah, I caught it.
I caught it.
But
And I didn't even know that he said that.
Yeah,
So it looks like maybe a Blackstone grill.
I don't know. We got to wear this grill out first.
It's as cheap as that grill is. It probably isn't going to take long for the thing to be worn out.
The cool thing I would rather do with a Blackstone, I would rather have a Blackstone griddle and a separate Blackstone grill.
Yeah.
Because my sister has a 2-in-1 or 3-in-1 unit, and it's bulky and heavy. So if you're staying still, that's great.
Yeah.
But if you're moving and you're only using one thing at a time, like we would usually grill by ourselves, just the grill,
Yeah.
or we would use the griddle or the burner. We wouldn't always use all three.
I think somebody was talking about there's a new Blackstone that's come out that has a fryer attacher
Homestead Aquarius, ferrets are cool for
for an hour.
1 hour a day. Yeah, they are, because you don't have to do anything. You can leave them and they just hibernate all day. You never have to feed them, give them water. You know, the thing about ferrets is when you let them go out in your house, you cannot have anything cool laying around because they're pack rats. They will hide it. They will hide it. They will pick it up and it'll disappear. Because I had this happen where I had a spare bedroom with a spare bed in it, and I had the ferret. We'd let out the ferret for about an hour a day at the end of the day, and then put him back and he'd go to sleep. So anyway, the dog was on the bed licking the bed, and I'm like, why is the dog licking the bed? Stop licking the bed. And he kept doing it. And then when we pulled the sheets back, the ferret had pack ratted his food under the sheets.
Snack for later.
So yeah, he was pack ratting food under the sheets.
Snack for later.
So we had to lock him out of the cage when he was out, because he'd go back to the cage and grab food and go hide it. So yeah, they're pack rats. You got to be careful with them. So you can't have little cool things laying around that they can carry.
See, I always heard that they were chewers too.
But the little ball, like the balls for playing, they just loved them. Like the ornaments for the Christmas tree, the little glass balls, they push them around, and they were cool. As long as you teach them not to bite when they're little. You got to teach them not to bite, because they're carnivores. So they will eat meat. So they will eat your fingers if you let them. So you got to teach them not to bite.
It doesn't sound like a fun pet.
No, but it's just like any animal. If you let the animal have its way, it'll be a headache.
When I was growing up, our neighbor had a ferret, and I remember going over their house and sitting at their couch, and that stupid ferret would come out from under the couch and bite your ankles.
Yeah, they will.
So
they will bite you.
It's like
they attack you when you walk by.
That's like the image of a ferret I have. My daughter has a ferret.
Well, we taught ours not to bite, so it wouldn't bite you. Look at this Homestead Aquarius.
I haven't grown something like that. His hammock was his favorite habitat. We've talked about, I like a hammock.
It's Johnny's turn.
It's on the word Blackstone.
Yeah.
The word Blackstone.
We are, like I said, trying not to buy things that we really don't need. So
and we really don't need it.
We don't really need
something
it.
has to happen to our current grill before we would get a Blackstone.
Yeah. So
because something's got to go out before we bring it in.
We're just trying not to spend more, trying to pay down debt.
And right now with everything else that's going on and not sure what's going to happen, like job situations, and
we just had to buy a camera that I got wet in the Keys. Yeah. So that was an expense. So we had to throw down money for DJI. A new sport camera, which nobody sent us any donations, so we got to pay for it ourselves.
No donations for the camera fund.
So anyway, we got to be careful where we spend our money, and now if we can make some money from YouTube, hopefully someday that will offset it. But for right now, we got to be careful with the money we spend.
And I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. What else do we have to buy? Oh, we bought a freezer. a small 3 cubic foot freezer because we always running out of space in our
We run out
camper.
of we run out of freezer space. We like to buy
bulk.
vegetables, and you buy a pack of meat and you like to be able to divide it up. And
Because we're not.
and
eating the
anybody
whole
knows
thing.
RV freezers. There's hardly any room in an RV freezer, so we needed to get a
Yeah, and if you put too much in an RV freezer, it doesn't freeze.
yeah.
So it's not like a home refrigerator freezer to where it has a fan and the.
Yep, you're right. He
Yep.
would say, Dave Ramsey would say, black soda is not needed. You can grill over a garbage fire. Just kidding. You're right. He would say
Yeah,
that.
but he also said we'd be eating beans and rice, but we're not eating beans and rice.
True.
I just said we're trying. I didn't say we were following him to the T.
We are
Because if
trying
we were
our-
following him to the T, we would not be living in this RV right now.
Yeah, you're right.
We'd be living in a
Hey, I am content.
20-year-old
Welcome to the
RV.
channel.
that we'd pay probably $2,000 for.
Well, we would probably still be in your old
We'd still be in our old
You'd
one.
be in the old one.
I don't know. That was going pretty bad. But anyway,
I would be taking cold showers.
no,
We were in fear of
no.
sleeping and being, and it was going to collapse.
He wasn't that bad. He was not that bad.
What, your old RV?
No, Dave Ramsey.
Oh,
No, we would have had to put more money into that camper.
yeah. We would have had to put more money in.
But anyway, we're not living it by the Bible, so to speak, Dave Ramsey. We're doing the overall philosophy. We would be one of the people he would complain about and say, the ishers, you're kind of following it ish, somewhat ish.
Yeah.
We're one of those.
But we are in some ways. In some ways, we are pretty hardcore. Like, how many people? We had a almost 3,000 square foot house we were renting, and we chose to forego rent
Yeah, and live in a
and live in
150 square foot.
Yeah. So I
Yes.
think we are a little bit over. I think we're a little more than ish.
Yeah, but we're not following it.
If something happens to one of our jobs, we have a backup plan of some things that we could do.
We're glad RV DJ is content. I'm glad you're content. That's the best thing we can do is be
I
content.
am content. No, it's I am content. He's saying hi to a channel.
Oh,
I am content.
Hi, I am content. What does that mean? I'm sorry.
It's their it's a-
Oh,
it's a
my
channel.
bad.
Yeah,
My
it's a
bad.
channel.
Sorry.
and Homestead Aquarius says Dave doesn't need to know it's our secret.
No, he doesn't. He's not in our business.
Can somebody post the link for I am content? I think it's the first time I am content has been on one of the live
I
streams.
mean, I did co-lead a class. So I'm somewhat,
Yeah, we're pretty-
responsible
you're pretty-
for being somewhat disciplined.
pretty versed.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're in the spirit of it, of not incurring more debt and reducing our debt. So, and we're also we have money. We have what they call the emergency funds, more than we need in our emergency fund for what they require for minimal.
Yep.
So we're doing all right there, and we're trying to bulk up the savings even more and the checking.
Just in case of it, who knows what.
Right. And we want to pay off Sherry's car very soon.
That's the
So-
next thing to pay off. We only have a few big bills.
Yeah, so I think we need to get off of here. We enjoy all the you viewers that are here. We really appreciate you, and we'd love to stay here. But I need to get back to editing, and we need to make some dinner.
We need to get some food.
And
We need to go check on.
We
our
got to put
puppy.
our awning back in
'Cause
because it's
it's
going to rain,
rainstorm.
storm. We're getting some thunder. So we appreciate all you coming in
We will be back for
Thursday,
Thursday.
and I don't know if I'll have a premiere for that. Probably not.
And who knows? You might see us during the week pop up on something.
Yeah, we love you
never know.
guys. We appreciate you
You never
so
know.
much for stopping in because you got other things you can do besides watch us.
Yep.
And we appreciate
And we
you.
appreciate it. We do definitely need the watch hours.
Yes.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it. All
All right.
right. So RV Dog said, let's eat.
Let's eat.
And I am content. I am so glad you finally caught us live.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have a blessed week. And we will talk to you again soon.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.